How can a woman understand that a man is playing with her? Sometimes a man's behavior is so ambiguous and a woman is in some internal torment and confusion about what lies ahead with this man. She seems to see his reactions and behavior, and this behavior makes her anxious. But like any woman, she imagines and embellishes things. She believes in a better future, believes that something will change, that the man will change, and such relationships can last until it becomes inconvenient for the man. So in this video, we will talk about how to determine that a man is not in a relationship for the long term, meaning he is not serious about this woman. Due to some circumstances, his desires, preferences, or his own stability and comfort, he is currently next to this woman. And the first indicator is that he does not show consistency and, let's say, does not show stability. That is, he is sometimes close, sometimes distant. He can be next to you and give compliments and then disappear for a while. You feel with him as if you are on a powder keg. In other words, the word stability does not apply to your couple. Consistency does not apply to your couple. You cannot plan anything with him or agree on anything. He is a person who belongs to himself, and he does as he wants. Your desires, your preferences are not taken into account. If he disappears for a while, you worry and suffer in guesswork about where he is, what he is doing, and how he is. During this time, he is not interested in what you are going through, what is happening to you. He lives as he wants. If he wants to be with you and spend time that way, he does. If he wants to be somewhere else, he does it. He is not afraid of losing his woman. If at some point if she realizes that this is unacceptable for her and leaves, he won't be very upset because his behavior already shows that he is not afraid of losing her, and this is a huge indicator. Furthermore, the absence of future plans. When a man meets his woman, he starts to plan, and it's not a plan written out in points, but a man, seeing his woman, begins to talk about having children at certain moments. For example, he starts to worry about her health so that they can have healthy children in the future. For example, she smokes, and he says, well, quit it already because our children will be unhealthy, for instance. So if you hear such moments where a man, even making some remark or worrying about something, is already planning a shared future, it means you are in his plans, and it means the man is not using you and is not just passing his time. That is, you are in his plans. But if in conversations there is never a mention of a shared future, meaning topics about what awaits you next are never brought up, it means the man does not see you in his future. Furthermore, he does not include you in his life. This is also an indicator that the man may be playing. It is currently convenient and comfortable for him. For example, introducing you to his friends, relatives, acquaintances, best friend, or anyone else. He does not introduce you to his family. Why? So that he doesn't have to explain to everyone later why you broke up. In other words, he understands that the relationship with you is not long-term. Therefore, if you meet a man in your life who has completely closed off his life that was before you and is protecting it from you in every way, it means that this relationship is not long-term. That is, as long as it is convenient for him, he will be with you. Furthermore, he disappears and does not respond to messages. That is, he can afford this. He wanted to, so he went somewhere without warning you, without saying anything. In other words, he lives as he wants. He can afford not to respond to messages or calls because he wants to do so right now. If a man is not afraid of losing his woman, he will behave this way because he is not scared if she suddenly disappears from his life. When a man loves, when he is interested, when he is engaged with a woman, he allows himself to do this because he is afraid that she will perceive this incorrectly. He is afraid that it is unacceptable for her and she will just leave. So if you see that a man can disappear, not respond, not call, not write, and then appear one wonderful day as if nothing happened, as if nothing was wrong, know that the man is just playing with you. Next, communication only at night. This is also an indicator that the man is not serious. That is, perhaps he likes, for example, your intimate meetings or some evening conversations. But again, this does not indicate serious intentions from the man. That is, if a man is serious, he will write, call, he will want to know about your life. He will be interested in what you do during the day. That is, when a man is interested in a woman, he is engaged with her. That is, he needs to know something about her. He needs to be interested in her. He even needs to care about her. But what kind of care and interest can there be when communication is only at night? Next, he tells you what you would like to hear, but everything ends with words. That is, he can say a lot of nice things to you, but he will not do anything about it at all. If you have already noticed that it has happened more than once, that he tells you what you would like to hear. There are men who can easily read a woman by her reactions and behavior through conversation. They understand what she wants to hear. And then they simply play with her, using her own words and phrases to achieve, for example, what they desire. So if you see that a man talks a lot and does absolutely nothing for you, this is again an indicator that a serious relationship with this man will not work out. Next, he is not interested in your life. I have already mentioned this a bit. A man who is not involved in your life is not interested in you. If he is not interested in your life, it means he doesn't care, no matter how painful it may be to admit. Girls are structured in such a way that they do not like to wear rose-colored glasses. They like to fill in the gaps where there is nothing. That is, he said something or he didn't say something, perhaps something happened to him, or he is worried about something. Even if he said something hurtful, she can already imagine that he didn't mean it that way. So if a girl simply takes off those rose-colored glasses and observes the person who has come into her life, looking at his reactions, his words, his behavior, his actions, his interest, she understands everything. But the most important thing is not to be enchanted so as not to be disappointed later. Next, a man who entered into a relationship with you right after a breakup. That is, he tells you that he has just broken up. And it is clear that a man whose relationship has just ended is trying to find a replacement because he is very hurt. He has not let go of his former partner. Naturally, you cannot build happy relationships on all of this. That is, he is trying to numb the pain left from the previous relationship with the help of one woman. And here, there is only pain for all participants in such relationships. So, if a man tells you that he has just come out of a relationship, starts talking a lot about his ex, and you feel the pain in his words, it is better not to get involved in such a relationship if you do not have the resources for it, because it will only hurt later. Next, aiming only for physical contact. That is, if you understand that your relationship is reduced to just intimate meetings, then the man only needs that from you. A man who is interested in a woman courts her, tries to show himself in the best light and attempts to charm her. But if these are only meetings of a certain nature, then this man, he is interested in you for the long term, meaning he is currently satisfied and enjoys everything happening in his life, and for now, everything is wonderful for him. He is not ready to compromise. Again, a man who is just playing with women understands that he doesn't really need her. He only needs her for a certain period until he meets, for example, the one. He will act like a king in this relationship, meaning he will not compromise. There will be no concessions. It's either as he said or not at all, because all of this dictates the understanding that he is not afraid of losing her. So it's either this way or no way. So this is another sign that the man is just playing. If a man is in love with a woman, he does not want to cause pain. He wants to talk, communicate, and find compromises at certain moments. He does not try to push only his point of view and break the person next to him. That is, it is more about feelings and emotions rather than pressure. So let's talk about what to do if you suddenly recognize yourself. That is, if you have now found yourself in one of the specific points, meaning you understand that indeed your relationship is going nowhere and is happening in a certain way. So the first thing you need to do is listen to your intuition. I already started talking about this. Just take off your rose-colored glasses. Analyze what is happening in your life. What are your dates like? What does the man do for you? What do you talk about? Is he involved in your life? Is he interested in you? Honestly, hand on heart, without embellishing, without calming themselves. Often girls, even to calm themselves, start making up something, that is, some excuses. No, he is just that kind of person. Men love equally. If a man is in love, he engages in a woman's life. If you understand that a man, for example, only takes something from the relationship and is not involved, gives nothing in return, then your intuition should guide you to the right decision. That is, by listening to yourself, you understand that you cannot be a man, and you will understand your feelings perfectly. Next, look openly at the situation and acknowledge the facts. That is, again, I already started talking about this. Look at what is happening in your life as it is without fantasies. Are you really satisfied with such a relationship? Would you like to continue having such a relationship? Or do you still want something different in a relationship? Or do you want the man to treat you differently than how things are happening now? Next, discuss your expectations openly with the man. Sometimes we are afraid to speak openly about our inner experiences, but if everything is happening in a way that you don't really like, it might be easier to think about what is happening and talk to the man. You will hear everything, only if you listen to him carefully. The man will tell you everything without any embellishments. If he does not see you, for example, in the long term, he is not planning to marry, he will tell you that he is not planning to marry for now and so on. In other words, have an open conversation with the man. Don't cut off your tail piece by piece, but rather, if you understand that these relationships are going nowhere, immediately clarify everything and talk, listen, find out, and then make your decision. Moving on. Do not let anyone undermine your self-respect and self-esteem. Such relationships cannot make a woman happy. They cannot uplift her. They cannot nurture her self-worth. They cannot enhance her self-esteem. Here only the lowered self-esteem is really very low. And the understanding that a woman begins to realize that she is not worthy of love, that she does not deserve happiness in life, this attitude of the man makes her understand at some point that she is only worthy of such treatment. Never let anyone break your self-esteem. Believe in yourself. You know what you want. Listen to your heart, your soul. It will tell you what kind of relationships uplift you. What do you want in this life? What kind of relationship do you want to come to? Perhaps this man who has appeared in your life only highlights some of your internal problems so that you can work on your mistakes and reach that happy moment in your life and to a completely different man who will truly value and love you. Moving on. Give yourself time. If you still cannot understand what is happening in your relationship, give yourself time. Step back a little from the man. It is not necessary to end the relationship, but just, let's say, observe your relationship from the outside for a while to see what he does. That is, watch carefully and analyze what is happening. This slight detachment will give you a complete picture of what is happening in your relationship. And then the decision will be much easier to make. Moving on, discuss your feelings and fears with your close ones, only with those you trust, who love you, and who will not give you any wrong advice. In other words, talk to those who will speak to you with soul and heart, who do not have any hidden meanings. So talk to those people, to your relatives, perhaps to your mother or sister. Talk sincerely about your feelings and what is happening. An outside perspective is always more honest. If you have no one to talk to, you understand, just no one. Your mother may always have been against it. Your sister is not there. Your best friend might be far away and there is no opportunity to talk to someone. Talk to yourself. Just make a table. In the first column, write what you are dissatisfied with in this relationship. In the second column, write what you would actually want from the relationship. And in the third column, give advice, but not to yourself, rather to your closest friend. If she is in such a situation, advise your closest friend, your beloved friend, on what she should do. Then read what you advise. These pieces of advice are addressed to you. In other words, you already know where to go and what to do. And the last thing, do not be afraid to let go. Sometimes it is necessary to make difficult choices in your life in order to live a happier life in the future. It is better to endure some pain once, to suffer and cry it out, than to constantly be in negativity and a state of stress, understanding that you are not getting what you really want in this life. So do not be afraid to let go. A person who loves, truly loves, will not leave. That is, perhaps you have lost yourself somewhere in your relationships, lost your feelings, and even this kind of break for a while can show people how important they are to each other and how much they mean to one another. So do not be afraid to let go. Do not be afraid, and do not live in fear that a man might leave at some point. There is no need to be afraid. A person who loves will be there, will not go anywhere. That's all for this video. It was me, Alisa Vardomska. I hope for your likes and subscriptions. Write in the comments what you would like to discuss in my new videos. Don't forget to hit the bell. And goodbye, everyone.